Welcome to the video tutorial series by NetBits. Today we are going to run through the CCNA basic router setup. How do we access the router? How do we set up the router and the local area network and the connectivity, physical connectivity we will run through. And then we will configure and we will try to communicate with all the clients, whoever is getting connected to the local area network. So let's start with the GNS. We are using this GNS. This is the GNS software. Now let me put up the routers. I'm going to drag a router. If you want to add a router, it is one by one. You can just drag it here. The R1 is taken. Now assume that if I want to take the 3, 4 or 5 or multiple routers together, just hold shift key and drag the router. So it will prompt you to select the number of nodes, how many nodes you want. Let's say if I want 5 nodes more, plus 1 we have already added. So total there will be 6 nodes which are getting connected, right? So this is 6 nodes we have already connected. Now actually I don't need 6 nodes, honestly. So I'm just deleting 4, 5 and 6 3 routers. That's it. Just select them all and just simply press the delete key. That's it. So we have connected the 3 routers. On the GNS there are a zooming option. You can add the nodes. You can see the labels which router is connected where, right? So assume that R1 is your central office, and you have got the 2 branches, and all are connected directly with each other. We have already configured we have already added the interfaces, and now I'm going to connect the devices and we will do the configuration. So let's first create one local area network. So let's say serial 2/0 I am taking it, and it is getting connected to 2/0 on R1, which will be acting as a ISP, internet service provider, and another interface 2/1 is getting connected to R3 as a branch office. So we have got one head office, one branch office, and both are connected via common service provider. I have put up the common service provider as of now, and let's say we will add the switches, right? I have added one switch on this side, and we will add another switch on this side. So totally we have added 2 switches. Now it's similar to the router. If you want multiple switches, you can just hold your shift key and drag them to the working area. So it will all will come together. And I'm going to add the host. Now for the host, you will use the VPCS. VPCS is acting as a host. So let's add 2 hosts on each side. So total I'm going to add 4 hosts. Now these are the 4 hosts: PC1, 2, 3 and 4. Let me put up PC1, 2 on the connecting to R2, and the PC1, 2 is yes, right. PC1, 2 is on R2, and R3 is connected with PC3 and 4 via switch. So let us take the cables. Sorry, Ethernet 0/0. I'm connecting to FF0/0. Again on R3, same pattern, FF0/0, and then Ethernet 0/0. Now I have got the 2 PCs on the left and 2 PCs on the right. Both are actually acting as a local area network. So let me connect PC1 to switch port 1, and switch port 2 will be connected to Ethernet 0 on the PC. Similarly on the switch 2 side, I will select the PC Ethernet 3, which gets connected to PC3, and the Ethernet 4 gets connected to Ethernet 0 on PC4. Now this all we have configured, we have connected, but how would you know that it is connected correctly? So let's put up the let's put on the labels. This is the, if you notice the ABC, it's written there, and it is showing the cable. You can drag the labels wherever you want it. This is what we have connected. Now here there is a switch 1. This is a host name, right? And we have got the Ethernet 1, Ethernet 2. This is the PC1 E0. This is actually nothing but a beautification. If you want it, that's fine. If you don't want it, that's okay, right? Let's do this one, and these are the PC4. Basically, if you if you design it properly and the look wise if it is fine, then you can directly go and do the troubleshooting, right? So it is easy to troubleshoot if everything is organized in the proper manners, right? These are the S2/0 and S2/1. These were overlap. Now there is another way you can check it, which is a topology on your right hand side. Now if you click on R1, it will show you S2/0 is connected where remote router is R2 and then it is S2/0. Then S2/1 is with S2/1 on R3. So all are connected, we are fine, and we can do the configuration. So let us start the routers first. By default, all the switches are always on. You don't need to do power on. Okay. So this is R1, R2 and R3, and we have got PC 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now for reference, if I want to add the IP addressing, so how can we write it? This is a text editor. Now you can just click on text editor and just type the IP addresses. Okay. So let's say I'm using a 13 network, 13.0.0.0/30. So that means on one side it will be 1 and another side it will be 1.2. So both the side we'll be doing the configuration with 13. Now there is another one 12.0.0.0/30. Again I'm using the /30 and the subnet mask would be 255.255.255.252. Right, now these are the PCs. So basically we are creating. Now let's say I want to segregate. How can I segregate? These are the symbols I can put up here, and let's segregate all together one by one. And this is the R3. I'm just putting it on the back. So just say lower one layer, show layer message again, and it will go. Right. So now we have the box. Now there is another one I'm creating. Let me just put it here. Okay. So this is the one. So basically we have created the two local area network on my left and on my right. So let's name them. One as a LAN A, or let's say Office in India. Let's make it short. Head office LAN, head office LAN, and another one I'm just putting it as a branch office. Okay, so this is branch LAN, right? I hope it's recording. Yes, it is recording. Okay. Now both the LANs are created. Let's do the configuration of the IP address. We have assigned the WAN IP address between R1 and R2, which is 12.0.0.0/30 and 1 and 3, 13.0.0/30. Now head office local area network and branch local area network both will have a different IP addressing scheme. So let's identify them first. Let's say head office LAN which we have taken, that we will mark it as a 192.168.0.0/24, and the branch local area network, that would be 192.168.1.0/24. Both will have a default gateway as a .1. So let's do the configuration one by one. First, I will configure the R2, or let's start with the PC. PC1, PC2, PC3 and PC4. All the computers are connected even though they are on the two different LANs. Let's do the configuration. IP 192.168.0. I will put IP address as a 11/24, and the default gateway would be 192.168.0.1. So it's checking for duplicate IP address, and let's see how long. Okay, it has taken up the gateway as a 192.168.0.1, and there are no duplicate IP addresses. So what we have assigned, that is a static IP address on 11. Now let's do it on R2. IP 192.168.0.12/24, and the gateway would be 192.168.0.1. So again, it will be doing the same thing. It is done. Let's go with R3 IP address 192.168.1. Let's do it as a 13. Okay, let's make it as a 11/24, and the gateway is 192.168.1.1. Let's go to our PC4 IP 192.168.1.14/24. I'm not sure, I forgot what I wrote it on PC3. PC3 is a 11, so let me just put it here as a 12. 12/24. Okay, numblock is off. 192.168.1.1. Okay, so all 4 PCs are configured. They are configured with the IP addresses. Now let's do the PC 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now if you check it on the PC1, it should be able to ping the neighbor 192.168.0.12. Right? It's pinging, it's receiving the response, but it cannot ping the gateway 192.168.0.1 because there is no gateway configured. So let me configure the gateway on R2. Right? Config T, and let us see which interface is it. It's FS0/0, interface F0/0, IP address 192.168.0.1, 255.255.255.0, because it's a /24. Now, by default, all the Cisco routers are in the interfaces are in the shutdown mode on Cisco routers. So let's check it out. Do show IP interface brief. So it's all are shut down. We have configured the IP address, but we have not opened the interface. So let's do no shutdown, and now we should have the IP addresses up and running. Let's go back to the PC1 and see if it can ping now. Let me close this R2. Okay, earlier it was not pinging, now it should give us the response. It's pinging, right? So we have configured R1, R2's head office local area network. We have configured and we have done the testing, right? So let's do the configuration of the branch local area network, which is on the connected on R3, right? So now I don't need the PC2 and PC3 as of now. Let me close it. Let's open the R3. Config T, interface F0/0, IP address 192.168.1. IP address 192.168.1.1, and the subnet mask would be 255.255.0, and we will do the same thing as no shutdown. Even if you put the command no shutdown or no shut, both will have the same effect, right? So it's done. Let me try to ping from here to the clients 192.168.1.11. I hope I have given the correct IP addresses as 11 and 12. Yes, it is correct. 11 is reachable, and now I'm trying to see on the 12. Yes, both are reachable. So that means basically we have configured head office local area network and the branch office local area network. Now we need to connect WAN connectivity between the R1 and R2 and R1 and R3. So once we do this one and we assign the static route, then end-to-end reachability must be established between PC1 and 3 and 4 and PC2 and 3 and 4. So let's start with the R2, or we are already there on R3. So let me configure R3 first. There is another interface S2/1. IP address, I'm just configuring 13.0.0.2, and the subnet mask will be 255.255.252. And let's do the no shut. We have configured the WAN interface. Let me go on the R1. config T interface S2/1, which is already connected to the R3. So let's do the configuration IP address 192.160. Sorry, it's not 192. It's 13.0.0.1 255.255.255.0, and let's do the no shut. Now notice that R2 we have not configured anything, but we have configured between R3 and R1. Earlier this S2/1, which was showing as a up, but the line protocol was down. Right now the protocol is up. If you we will verify this one on R2. Okay, so let me do the ping test from here. Ping 13.0.0.1. It's pinging, so it's a point-to-point link. Just there are two IP addresses, and we are able to do the testing. Now let's go on the R2. Now notice here on R1, when we are checking the interface status, show IP interface brief, which is on S2/1. Right? This is up status. Now if I go to R2 and check the status here, show IP interface brief. Okay, there is nothing configured, no status update. So let's do the configuration. Config T interface S2/0 IP address 12.0.0.2 255.255.255.252, and let's do the no shut. Now see the status, how the interface is changing the status. It said interface serial 2/0 change state to up, and again it is saying line protocol on interface S2/0 change state to up. Actually line protocol is not yet up. Show IP interface brief. Okay. Here it is showing as a up, but in a few minutes after a keep alive time passes, this will be marked as a down. See the error, see the message down below. It says change state to down. So here it has already changed state to up the protocol, right? And here again it says protocol on interface S2/0 change state to down. So let's verify it by show IP interface brief. Yes, it shows down. Right? Now let's go on R1 and do the configuration. Once you do the configuration on R1, let's verify here what it says. Show IP interface brief. Here 2/0 is still in the shutdown, administratively down mode. So let me configure it. Interface S2/0 IP address 12.0.0.1 255.255.255.252. Once I do this one, then let's check it out. No shut. Now it should come up. It says change state to up. This is the physical interface. Here it says the protocol on interface S2/0 change state to up. See the message, we have got it on R2. So that means both are now in up and up condition. It should be back on the same as the previous. Okay, it has got it. So both interfaces are up and it's working fine. Now when I do it on R1, let me ping it from here. 12.0.0.2. It's pinging. 13.0.0.2. It's working. Right? So both the wide area network is fine. The local area network within the LAN, it is fine. But PC1 cannot reach to PC3 or PC4, and vice versa. PC3 and 4 cannot reach to PC1 and 2. So now let's do the routing first. Right? How do we do the routing? We will be doing it on all three routers on R1, 2 and 3. 2 and 3 we will be putting as a default route. One side I will put it on the interface, another side we will put it on the remote IP. And on R1 we will have to define the two static network routes, so both on each side. Alright, so let me go to R2. Right, I'm configuring the route, IP route, the default route, which means 0000 00000, and it will go as a 12001. Now when I'm putting it 12001, that means I'm assigning the IP address of R1's serial 2/0 as the gateway, right? So this is done. Now let's go to the R3, or let's go to R1 first. Let us finish the one side. Now here I am putting it as a config D IP route. Here I will not put the 000 because 00 is the default route, and the default route means all the traffic will go into the one direction only. In R1's situation, that is not the correct way. So let's identify which are the routes to be forwarded on each interfaces. So in current scenario, we have got the head office local area network, which can be accessible through serial 2/0. So let's configure that route on the R1, which is the IP route 192.168.0.0. Now if you put a question mark, you will get an option of the subnet mask, right? So it's a 255.255.255.0 IP route. Now we need to define the gateway. Now gateway we have earlier defined as a IP address 12001 as a remote IP. You can define by the local interface as well, but let's put it as a remote IP for now, 12.0.0.2. For R1, the remote IP would be interface IP address of the S2/0 on R2, and for R2, remote IP would be IP address of the R1's serial 2/0. So both are configured. So now from the local PC1 and PC2, we can reach till R1's S2/0. So let's do the testing. PC1, and let's ping it 12.0.0.1, which is the R1's interface, and we are getting the response. That means it is working fine, no issue on that one. Now let's do the connectivity between R1 and R3, and then we will do the testing from PC1 to PC3 and 4, right? So let's move on. Let me configure it on R3. Let's do the config key IP route. Here you can define 0.0.0, 0.0.0, and instead of the remote IP, what we did on R2, we will put it here as a serial interface S2/1, which is the local interface, right? So I have done this one, and same thing on R1 we will do it. Let's say config key IP route 192.168.1.0 255.255.255.0 pointing to S2/1. This is what we have done it now between R1. So now we have configured all three routers with the required routes, and now we should be able to do the testing from PC1 to PC3 and 4. Let's do the test by the ping command. Ping 192.168.1.11. It should be pinging. Initially maybe a couple of packets you may not receive, that's because of the ARP request, and now yes, we received the response. Now if you try to ping again, there will not be any ARP request, resend it, right? Okay, so it's working. Now let's do the another test for our PC4. Again PC4, it will have the ARP request timeout, and then it will respond to us. Now second time there is no timeout. Now if I go to PC3 and PC4, I will do the reverse test 192.168.0.11. So once it is there 0.11, it should be pinging. Yes, it is pinging now, and now again there is a no request timeout, directly it will reach. Now there is a 12. Yes, it's working, there is no issue. So we have configured. Let's review what we have done. We have created two local area networks. One is for head office local area network, and the second one is the branch local area network. In between these two network, we have provided the connectivity across the wide area network, which is known as a WAN. And in the WAN, assume that R1, what we have configured as a internet service provider, as a ISP. So ISP has got one link towards the my head office and another link with my branch. So ISP is responsible to carry out the routing within their own network, and the R2 and R3 being a client, they can configure the static route or any other routing protocol which are connected to the ISP. So that's what, and we have done the configuration of the IP addresses on the all the PCs and the interfaces, the serial interface, fast Ethernet as well, and we have done the testing on this one, right? So I hope this has been informative for you, and thank you for watching the video.